HM Podcast. Today we're joined with Mr. Steve Rice of No Justice. How you doing today?
What's up, fellas? Glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful day in Oklahoma. It's starting to actually not be 100 degrees anymore.
It's feeling like football weather.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly right.
It's been a long time coming, but yeah, we're ready for it.
Hopefully here in Stillwater to start feeling like good football weather, because it hasn't been good football weather.
I mean, last week wasn't too bad.
It wasn't great either, but we got to win.
That's what I tell everybody. It's like, the culture of OSU has always been, it's really not about the win. It's about the celebration,
Yeah.
before, after, it's like, we're going to drink afterwards regardless whether we win or lose. So,
I saw a thing where Mike Gundy was getting mad at people for leaving at halftime. I'm like, well, everybody's looking forward to going to the bars anyway, so that's where they're going.
Well, now they serve beer in the place, so it's like, there's not a lot of excuses to leave.
That's true.
You can pay for, I don't know who's got more expensive beer, the Tumbleweed or the stadium there. Have you ever been to Camp Ryan trying to get a pitcher of beer? I mean,
don't tell Carrie that.
Well, now this that we're talking about 10 years ago with me, so it's like, I would assume with inflation, it's probably up to about $50 a pitcher now.
So you you mentioned before we started that this is your first podcast. So I was watching some clips today of some past interviews you've done, and I think I saw one. It was like maybe 13 years ago, 10, 11 years ago.
Could have been.
And you had the what's this called? The
that's called The Only Thing I Can Grow. I've got Indian and Irish in my blood.
I was really expecting that today, so I was kind of thrown off when you walked in.
I kind of cut that off when I wanted to be a business professional, and it just it never really looked good. So it's like I can't grow a beard, can't grow a mustache. I'm like, well, I'll just go with this for a while. But
I feel you there. So yeah. So did you ever have like a look? When you were you ever trying to like have a continual look, or was it just kind of whatever you wanted to wear or look like at the time?
I just wear what was comfortable. When I'd get on stage, I had a buddy of mine that did screen printing here in Stillwater. That's Jeremy Borum. He had his 17B company back then, and he would just make me one-off shirts, just kind of. Stuff. So they're real unique and stuff. So I've always been just kind of a jeans and T-shirt kind of guy, on stage, and every now and then I'm throwing a jacket or something, I guess. I never was too fancy.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of planning that goes into that. You're just kind of like whatever's comfortable.
No, it's the planning goes into the performance, not the look. We never were like, hey, we're gonna look like rock stars. It just kind of. We wore what we wanted to, and I think that's kind of.
They're going to go out at the Tumbleweed tonight with Kiss face paint on, the white and black.
Yeah. I've got some eye black. Borrow my son's eye black. He plays baseball, so I just borrow some of his stuff. But no, we just always kind of everybody in our band historically has been really unique, from their musical influences to their their lifestyle, everything else. So, that's kind of what in my opinion made us kind of unique. We weren't all going for the same thing. We got some guys in the band that are kind of metalheads, and we got some guys that are jazz trained musicians, and it's just real eclectic, and kind of had this melting pot that we considered to be No Justice.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, because like listening to the music, I pick up on a lot. Like a lot of people classify it as red dirt, like you guys, but you hear a lot of like the rock and even some like blues stuff in there, and the country mix. I think that all the different band members, to me, that really like adds something.
Yeah.
It was we never wanted to really get pigeonholed into a genre. I think red dirt is such a broad genre, or if you want to call it a genre, it's there's so much diversity in that title that. It's kind of hard to really pigeonhole that into a certain sound, because you've got people like, the Red Dirt Rangers, Randy Crouch, Great Divide, Jason Bowl and the Stragglers. You got old ragweed stuff, Stoney, and Brandon Jenkins. Everybody's got their own sound, and they're pretty different, and I think that diversity is what kind of draws people to it, because there's something there for everybody. It's not like just a country genre where if you don't like country, then you won't like this. We had so many different people from all walks of life attend our shows that I think that's what made it really unique and kind of special for us.
Yeah, I think that's true for, well, like you said, like there's so many different Red Dirt bands, and they all have so many different sounds.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I mean, there's
me-
definitely a sect of it that, like, as more like the traditional like Texas country
Right.
kind of vibe, and then there's got the rock vibe and.
Well, I mean,
everything in between.
I see on social media and stuff. They even call a lot of Texas bands Red Dirt bands. It's like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't know if it's so loosely defined or the fact that nobody knows what the hell it is anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's such a broad.
I've seen Tyler Childers be called Red Dirt before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
I saw somebody one time called Brooks and Dunn Red Dirt, and I was like,
not the song.
You mean Red Dirt Road?
You hear the same thing I'm hearing? Because like I said, I think it's more of a cultural thing than it is a genre, and that's what I think, in my opinion, kind of makes it special for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. To me, Red Dirt is more of like just the scene in general, just
Yeah.
like the people, that come from all these different like
Right.
bluegrass, rock, whatever.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they kind of
it's
all
the
meshes
bands
together.
it's the bands and the fans that make this culture, be what I consider Red Dirt. And I've always kind of said that. It's not a sound. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's a part of that embodiment that is Red Dirt to me. And kind of. I took a pretty good hiatus, when we quit touring in 2013. I took about a 4-year hiatus from it, and I was used that time to, find my career path, and also, kind of got back in the scene, helping out other kind of up and coming bands, find, radio promo or booking or get into clubs, they want to get into, because a lot of these up and coming bands, they can't afford to spend money on a manager or a booking agent stuff. So I was trying to do that and kind of stay connected a little bit, and that's actually when John Folk, who started with Buttonley Attractions, ended up with Red 11, and now William Morris. He's like, hey, I'm booking for festival season. You guys want to start, playing some shows again? That was 4 years later after we kind of stopped, and that's when we decided to get back into it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to travel any further than this. I don't want to play any more than this, because I've got, time away from my family is one of the big reasons that I decided to stop playing. We were playing 200 plus shows a year for 13 years, so we were on the road, and it was affecting my family a lot. And it works for some families, and for mine it didn't. So I chose a different route, and it's good to kind of come back into music and play for the reason you started playing in the first place, because you love playing music and you love touching people, and no Joe Biden reference there. but the look on people's faces when they get what you're doing, that's something that you can't buy into that. It's something that you share, and it's an emotional attachment that you share with your fan base and stuff, and it's something that can't be replaced very easily, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys obviously had something special to be able to, play in the early 2000s, take the break like you did, and then come back and still be able to play and have the fans that come and watch. I mean, obviously, there's something special there.
We're lucky. We're lucky that we've always had a pretty diehard fan base. When we came back, they were out in full force, and it's been really cool to, come back out and sell out shows. And I think people just miss it, as do we, and so it's been pretty cool being able to come back and do that again, and know that the people that that enjoyed it back then, they still have a desire to hear you play, again, and they've kept that fire going. It's pretty cool.
So where did the name No Justice come from?
It was a political move. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly. So back in 2000, I was playing on the Strip, doing acoustic song swaps with Stoney and Bowen and some of the other guys, and Jerry Payne and Tony Payne, the two brothers that kind of started No Justice. They were more of they put on cover songs with their lead singer back then. They wanted to get more into kind of that Red Dirt scene and write their own more original music, and so they came out and they saw, I think they attended a couple of acoustic shows that I played or something. It's been a long time, but they basically just said, hey, you want to start something, and we were trying to think of names, and we had all these different names, like and all of them just seemed forced. And they had a shitload of T-shirts and merchandise that said "No Justice." And we're like, "No Justice League." It is, it was kind of easy at that point, but it was more of a lack of better options, when it comes down to it. So we kept the name, and it wasn't my favorite at the first, but after a while, it just kind of dissolved and was like, that's who we are, and after a while, just was more of just a normal title for us.
Yeah. So you were talking about how you've played with like Stoney and all these like other classic acts and bands and people. Who has been your favorite person to play with or play?
It's really hard to say because everybody.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome down to Bad Brad's Barbecue. Hey, stop looking at Gus. Stop it. All right, folks. You see here, Jacker's trying to throw some cornhole, and he just can't get her done.
I just cannot hit anything today.
I see that, Jagger.
Man, you gotta have some Bad Brads. Play that crap when you're hungry.
Vernon always coming in clutch with the barbecue. Oh, yeah, look at that bite, folks. All right, Jagger, let's see it. Look at that, right in the hole.
Bad Brads, where you can't help but be good.
Like Jagger said, folks, Bad Brad's Barbecue, where it's good to be bad.
Hey guys, we want to tell you a little bit about Deadwake Archery Innovations. They got all kinds of awesome stuff. They create their very own custom designed CNC milled bows, and they do all kinds of crazy colors with the anodization. And you want to tell them a little bit more?
Yeah, so it is a Oklahoma State graduate. They're in Kansas, Oklahoma is where they're established. They do some great stuff, great killing machines for the water, honestly. And just go check them out. Thank you so much for Deadwake Archery Innovation for sponsoring this podcast.
We have so many friends that we played with that we just enjoyed being around. Bowen. Jason Bowen, the Stragglers. We played a lot of shows with them when we started, and throughout our career. Same thing with the Great Divide. And those guys really, like they do in red dirt culture. Those guys really help the next up and comers. Kind of bring their name out to the forefront and make a name for themselves. So there's really not a favorite. We played with everybody during those 13 years at touring. Will Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Hank Jr. We played with all the Nashville guys. Then we played with all the Red Dirt guys and all the Texas guys. And all of them were just such a warm, welcoming group of people, and that's not a political answer. It's just that's the way we are. And there's something special about it. And there's nothing else anywhere in the country, a movement or whatever you want to call it, like this that I've ever experienced. And we traveled the world, and there'd be guys in like Nashville, like Dierks Bentley, he would cut us a check for opening for him. And he's like, I know you guys don't make much money, here's all the stuff from our green room, and here's a check for, for this amount of money. And he goes, I've been where you're at, and I appreciate it, and it's going to be fun playing with you guys. Little things like that.
That's cool.
That happens more than you think, but there's also artists that are completely the opposite, who I won't name. But
give us money.
Yeah. You got to pay me to open for me. But so things like that. So to answer your question, there's really not a favorite. Everybody. It's like asking if you have a favorite venue, which I apologize if I'm killing one of your future questions, but. Every band and every venue has got their unique, personality that made the whole experience just, a good time.
Yeah, I gotta ask, have you ever done anything with Dwight Yoakam?
No.
Okay, I just had to throw.
I've heard the stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Heard.
What are the stories?
I'm repeating the
I'm
stories.
A huge Dwight Yoakam fan, so I'm very intrigued.
The only thing I've heard is he kind of keeps to himself. That's pretty much it. Where some guys will come out and they'll watch your show. That you open up for. They'll come out and watch your show, and they just want to hear the new guys and be a part of that. And I don't know, Dwight may have done that, but we never played with him. So I would have enjoyed playing with him. I mean, he's got some hits. What one guy though, Sawyer Brown. So we were playing a show in West Texas with him. I say him. The band's called Sawyer Brown.
Yeah.
But I mean, that guy got out there and danced his ass off across the stage. I mean, he was like, at that time, probably mid 50s to late 50s, probably, and he was getting it. I mean, he was achy breaking it all like, and there were some. Our buses were parked back behind the stage, and there was a porta potty there, and for some reason I used the porta potty. Came back out, and this gal had a pen and pad, and she's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna sign an autograph." She goes, "You gonna give me Sawyer's autograph?" I was like,
Wow.
Absolutely not.
"I'll go get you something." So I went over there and got her something.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, we've been fortunate to see a lot of really, really good performances. You know,
Yeah.
throughout our career, it's been pretty cool. And with me being in being in a sales career now, you know, I've got a lot of stories. You know, so it's really cool. Gives you something to talk about, kind of relate to everybody.
What do you do now?
What's that?
I said, what do you do now?
I'm in sales. I'm a manufacturer's representative for an automations company. So it's a worldwide automations company. I do the Oklahoma division.
That's cool.
So yeah, kind of bounced around a little bit, but it's been fun.
That sound check seems louder than normal.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna put these on so I can hear now.
Yeah.
Hear us now?
Joey's singing my song.
They too loud? They good?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
You also have in there a No Justice neon sign. From the first time I walked in there, I was looking at everything and I was like, No Justice. So I looked you guys up then, and that's when I started listening. And ever since then, I've been like, how do we get one of those neon signs?
Yeah.
I need to take that down.
That was so. We first started with Anheuser-Busch and had they were our first corporate beer sponsor. Then we switched over to Miller Coors. Got in Todd Equalizer. He took real good care of us. We're still really good friends, and so we had a good relationship with Miller Coors for quite a while, and obviously still do. But yeah, so they were our final, drink sponsor. You know, so they outfitted us with many late nights.
it sounds like instead of asking how we can get a neon sign, we need to ask how we can get a beer sponsor.
Yeah, we could probably. Todd's kind of the entertainment division for I think the whole central United States. So he does
Really?
casinos, stadiums, all that. He's got a pretty good job.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real
Yeah.
cool. So, being an older Red Dirt act, you've seen
You don't
a
have to
lot
go
of-
that far. You
Ah,
don't have to
well,
go that far.
Well,
I mean, come on. Just because you saw gray on his hair.
you guys have been around for a while.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. You guys have seen a lot of young acts come up, I'm sure, go or hit it big. What's like one band, one younger act that you think people should really know about and really go check out?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say right now because we really haven't played that often. I had, back when we were touring, there was a guy, Zach Wilkerson, that was great from Texas. We had a lot of great nights with him. Played some shows out in Canada with him. Just a really cool guy. And then back then it was like Johnny Cooper, because he was like 15 years old,
Yeah.
Gannon Freeman, those guys are doing great. We wrote a couple songs together.
Really?
So those guys are kind of up and coming. Whenever like Coe and Reed, Southall, and all those guys were kind of making their way up, we were kind of out at that point. So we never got a chance to play a lot of shows with them. When they were on their climb, and they're kind of up there now, assuming the Texas Red Dirt royalty, status that a lot of us were at back then. But I really don't know much about the younger guys. I mean, I hear them on social media and I enjoy a lot of the music. And I'm a lot more plugged in than what people think, thanks to social media and stuff. And I do follow, some of these guys and listen. And it's cool to hear a lot of these younger guys, covering our songs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really cool, to know that, people are carrying the torch and still doing their thing and putting a spin on it,
Yeah.
that's not, that's more unique than just doing a cover song or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know who else. I heard the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
I kind of followed a little bit of that, and those guys all sounded great. So there's definitely a lot of talent still in Stillwater, and I wasn't sure how much was still really around, honestly. And the last couple of years have kind of shown me that there is still still there's still a lot of music in Stillwater, and that's really cool because I didn't know if once we kind of stopped playing and the Ragweed guys moved down to Texas and Bo, and everybody kind of, they're still playing, but they're not just bound to Stillwater like the old Yellow House and the old days on the Strip, whenever you'd have 5 different acoustic acts that kind of got replaced by, for some reason, karaoke, and, I mean, it sucks, because there used to never be karaoke hardly ever when we were playing on the Strip, because we just had so many live musicians that played. And it kind of sucked to see all that come in. But, I think there's a lot of people kind of coming out and playing a lot more locally, which is really cool to see, because the music scene kind of seemed like it shifted to Tulsa for a little bit and to Norman for a little bit, and it seemed like it's kind of making a return for live music in Stillwater, just from what I know. It could have been here the whole time, and maybe I was just disconnected. But I can see it now for myself, and it's really cool to have that culture in Stillwater still thriving. It's been a really cool thing.
Yeah.
My daughter's going here next year. That's how old I am. So she just got accepted this week.
That's awesome.
And she's been. Of course, we brainwashed her. She was a cowboy through and through. For the time she was born. But I'm glad that she's going to be able to experience what I experienced when I came to Stillwater.
Yeah.
A different generation. It's going to be really cool, and I hope she gets as much fulfillment out of that music scene than what I did. I think it's going to be really cool to see that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about being here is like the local musicians.
Yeah.
We've done a couple small acoustic events. We've scheduled them, and we've done 5 local artists, and then we've got Brian White coming to do one at the end of the. I mean, I know he's not a small artist, but we've got some local guys opening up for him.
Right.
And to me, that's what that's why we do this, is to get the local guys out there, and because that's what I like to sit around and listen to.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. Because honestly, whenever we were playing, I mean, it's going to date me, but whenever we were playing, I mean, we didn't have the social media capabilities that what you guys have now. I mean, nobody was doing podcasts. I mean, we're on, we were transferring from MySpace to Facebook at that point. I mean, it's I was even late to the whole Instagram thing and all that stuff, and my kids will get on and be like, "You don't have very many followers." I'm like, "We didn't start till 3 or 4 years ago, just because I didn't mess with it. We weren't touring. I didn't have a need to, but it's been cool to see podcasts and social media, how they're playing their part, and how the discovery of new talent, because have kind of come to the forefront. Because I mean, there's so many, super talented people that would never get acknowledged back in the day when we were doing this, just because they weren't at the right place at the right time. Now social media lets you be at the right place at the right time 24/7. You can get discovered by people, and it just adds a whole nother element that puts the power in the artist's hands. Instead of I mean, I forget back in the 90s how many record labels were on Music Row, but it diminished substantially within a 5 to 10 year period, because everybody got bought up by everybody else, and they just don't hold that power that they used to over artists. But it's kind of cool to see people have claim their own destiny instead of waiting for somebody to make a decision on them.
I got to bring up too. A few weeks ago, the Rolling Stones put out an article, and Reed was doing an interview for it, and he mentioned you guys. You see that, like you said, you didn't get to play with them really because they came up at a different time, but to know you're part of why South Hall is who South Hall is. You know, what is that like?
I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I think we to kind of go back. I think we did play some shows with him back in the day. He was barely getting started.
Yeah.
And so I never got to see them at their peak on a personal level, other than like social media or with Spotify or whatever, you know. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you know, we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into our 5 records that we did, and we're really proud of them. And to see that maybe that might have inspired somebody to maybe help their career or to just, you know, put some stuff out that may be inspired by No Justice. I mean, that's why you do it. You know, I mean, it's pretty cool, and it's very humbling, you know, to know that they did that and know that we were mentioned, and just to be a part of somebody's, you know, career like that.
Yeah, for sure. You said earlier that there were some artists that have actually covered some of your songs. Like who all has covered songs, and what songs are they?
Now, saying that, I don't think they recorded our songs.
Okay.
I think it's more
like
they play them during a
stage.
live
Yeah,
show.
okay.
And I've heard acoustic performances and stuff like that. I don't think anybody's actually covered any of our songs on a record, to my knowledge. I mean, there may be some that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been one to chase after like, you know, me publishing rights. I don't give a shit. You know, do your thing. You know, and I've told people, you know, that have wanted to use a song for an ad or something. I'm like, I don't want any money for it. Just play our song. You know, keep your money, put it to somebody else. You know, you know, I never really chased. I've got a publishing deal, you know, and I just. That's not that important to me. I think it's more important just getting the music out there and letting somebody else get a new set of ears on it.
Yeah.
Speaking of songs, I just saw him.
Yeah.
It kind of shocked me. It threw me off guard. Don't Walk Away. That is one of my favorite songs from you. Actually, it's my favorite song. Can you give me like some backstory on that? How that came about?
That was so we have very few songs in our 5 records that we didn't write, and that was one of them. So I did not write that personally. I heard that song, a version of it, and we kind of made it our own, and it really took off, you know, for our fan base, and so much that we recorded another version of it, you know, a different, more piano-driven, kind of slow melodic version of it, kind of crescendo type thing.
I don't think I've heard that one. I'll have to check that one out.
But it was on the America's Son record. So,
Okay.
and I think Don't Walk Away was on the No Justice self-titled album. But yeah, so written by a writer, and I don't even remember honestly how I came across that song. But when I did, I was like, I like that song. Yeah, it's got a good melody to it. It's got a good hook. And we just kind of made it our own, and you know, did what we did with it. You know, I've never been one of those people that are too arrogant to appreciate somebody else's song and take that and play it. You know, I mean, Bend But Don't Break. You know, George DeVore wrote a great song. You know, I used to run sound for him and open up for him at the Wormy Dog back here in Stillwater. You know, he was upstairs, and I always liked that song. And DeVore's a great writer, and we were more than happy to put that song. And World War III was another one of his songs that we recorded, the only 2 songs of his that we recorded. But I mean, if you have a great song and a great dude behind it, you know, we just want to, you know, echo that,
right.
you know, music to some new ears possibly, and he was more than happy to, you know, to lend it to us for a little while.
Yeah, I DJ out here on Thursday nights for the college night, and I was waiting until it got as busy as possible, and then I was going to play Don't Walk Away just because I wanted to hear it on the loudspeakers, and I played it last night, and tons of people. I almost took a video to show you today.
You play Don't Walk Away whenever it's really packed and you have to pee and you want everybody to leave the dance floor so you can make a beeline for the bathroom. So
I do that, but I use Fishing in the Dark. I don't know if you've seen the dance that they do to that, or where they lay down.
Can you cut through them?
I go to the back bathroom.
Okay, all right, fair
I
enough.
play that. And
Noted.
Really clears the bathroom out for me. Are you a golfer? You look like a golfer.
Don't ever say that shit. I can play golf. We'll put it that way. I do it a lot for work now. My whole family are scratch golfers, and I learned how to play guitar instead. So we'll do a father-son, like for Father's Day every year. We'll get together, and me and all my brothers will go play with my dad. And one of my brothers got a full ride scholarship to OU playing golf, and it's like,
that's cool.
I did not.
Yeah.
I just played the Bedlam game. So, no, but I can play enough to have fun. We'll put it that way. But
Yeah.
let's just say that I bring about 3 or 4 dozen balls with me.
That
Well,
I
we can
mean,
relate.
Yeah, I mean that's all 3 of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably need to bring a whole bucket full by the end of it. Honestly.
Well, and I have a distinct mark that I put on my balls.
Oh, so you know. Yeah.
So I know we could go a million different directions with this conversation. But so I would have people. We just played golf with some of my college friends, and I had people come to the clubhouse going, "Oh, look! I found this ball with this thing right there." And I was like, "Those are mine." I won't just because my kids might listen to this. I won't tell you what image I put on there, but they're very distinctive.
I
I'll
feel
leave
he's
that
a
up
really
to
good
your
artist.
imagination.
Yeah, I feel he's a really good artist.
So do you have any other hobbies other than obviously your dad? You know, you're busy.
Yeah,
You're playing music.
My
but-
son plays baseball. He's a lefty pitcher and plays outfield, so that takes up a lot of our time. We just went down to Florida and Memphis. And we went to all these different states, and they were telling us, you know, before the season, like, we're going to go here and we're going to go here and we're going to go here. And they're like, does anybody have any questions? I was like, do you guys fucking work? Like, does anybody have a job? Because I'm going to get fired if I go to all this. But so we travel a lot for baseball, and I'm a big hunter and a gun enthusiast, so I build a lot of guns, and we have a 500-yard like steel target range out at my lease, so
That's cool.
I'll take people out there. And so yeah, I like to shoot guns and fish and
Yeah.
watch baseball and play music and watch football now. I guess used to not be able to watch football a lot because we'd be traveling, but my wife would always keep me clued in on all the games and stuff. But
Do you have an NFL team you root for?
no, I don't really watch NFL.
Yeah.
I'm more of a college
Just the
football
Cowboys?
fan.
Yeah. College football's better anyway.
Yeah.
And I've always been a Cowboy fan, like, through and through. But I like to watch a good college game. I mean, I'm not an
Yeah.
OU fan at all, but that OU Texas game was a great game.
That was
you
an
know, and
awesome
I
game
just
to watch.
appreciate watching good football
Yeah.
anymore. You know, and I started watching baseball a lot now. You know that my son is, in the last 5 years gotten a lot more into. He plays club ball and school ball and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So we've watched a lot of games. Actually, our Miller Coors rep got us into a couple of KC games. He got to.
That's cool.
My son got to go see the Yankees play. There at KC.
Yeah.
They were really cool. Took us 3 seats behind home plate, and it was pretty cool. He's like, you guys can eat or drink anything you want here. I'm like. I think we had every single thing they had to offer. So, give all that.
That's awesome.
Whenever you're not the cool dad, you just call the Miller rep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Son, we're going
Well,
to game.
but he called, so he made a call, and he's like, meet so and so down here at such and such time. So me and my son and one of the dads and his son, we meet him there at the gate. It was a GM of the KC Royals. He just took us back there. He goes, anything you guys want, it's all on me, whatever. He was a super cool guy.
Wow.
I'm like,
That's awesome.
all right, fair enough.
That's awesome.
I'm like, way to set the bar. This will never happen again, son. So enjoy this.
No, only way you can beat it is if you get a box seat up at BPS. And,
Well, he wanted to set us up there where it was air conditioned,
Yeah.
but we wanted to go behind home plate. So we did.
yeah, that's cool.
Is your hat, is that anything you guys do, or is that just...
That's my son's baseball team.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Oklahoma
Okay.
Fuel, yeah.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yep.
I was looking at that. I was like, I kind of like that
The
hat.
F could stand for many different things.
Yeah.
So,
I,
yeah.
I could never get into watching baseball for some reason. I played baseball all through when I
Yep.
grew up. I did travel ball, school ball. It's kind of probably a lot like your son.
Yeah.
And I just could never get into watching it. I don't know why.
I just like the whole time to relax part of it. You just, if I can sit back and eat and watch baseball and drink beer,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, good day outside. Now, I can't stand whenever it's like 110 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Like they can keep that shit on TV and I'll watch it from the house. Now I'm like, whenever it gets like 70s, I'm cool with that. My body wasn't made for hot temperatures. So
Yeah.
I like under optimal conditions, I guess.
Yeah.
One final question from me. If someone didn't know anything about you guys, what 3 songs would you tell them to go check out to get the full No Justice experience?
I would say probably, and actually some of the songs I really didn't think would take as well as they did, as far as our fan base is concerned. But The Toast obviously is our kind of anthemic, song. one of the first songs I wrote, actually. Red Dress is one of the other ones that obviously we really enjoy playing, but a fan favorite as well. All these songs, that the majority of them, the ones that I did write, they've got a lot of meaning personally for me. So I like the fact that the fans have been able to connect to the emotional side of the songwriter, and enjoy those songs as much as I enjoyed getting them out. And I've never really been a guy that sits down and like, I'm gonna write a song today. In my career, the songs come out when they're ready and not any time before that. So, a lot of times I'd wake up in the middle of the night and have some weird ass dream or some thought or something and jot some stuff down at 4 a.m, and just come back to it. And I finish them when they're ready to be finished, and I don't force them. So a lot of those songs, I've got a strong emotional connection to. I'll even play on stage, and get teared up. So I've seen people, that it hits, and they'll start bawling or something, and that just means something. I'm a softie anyway, so But so the Toast would be one, Red Dress would be one. I'd say, the song Galen and I wrote, Try Not to Fall, really came up and was a really cool song. Got a good story behind it. There's also, Song on the Radio. That was one that I wrote that I just wanted to be an album filler, and it just kind of came out really quick, and we played it, and it kind of hit, and we really didn't change it much in the studio. A lot of the songs, to kind of go back, will really take on a new form in the studio for us. So we'll go in there thinking we're going to record it this way, and it'll end up, because I'm by far the least talented musician in our band. And, once we get these guys together, a lot of times this song will take on a new form and be 10 times better than what, it was when I wrote it. And that's what's so cool about, having a group of guys that we've been with for so long. We just read each other, and everybody just knows what to do, for lack of a better term, lack of a better definition, I guess. But it's been really cool. So probably those songs I would say would be a good start for like, hey, what are we all about? Do you want to get us in a nutshell, I guess. But there's a lot more diversity, throughout our career with our songs. We've got more rock songs, we've got more blues songs, we've got some more country type songs, and we just kind of, to go back to what we talked about before, there's a lot of diversity there, so there's something there kind of for everybody. So I'd hate to pigeonhole like just the country or red dirt songs, because we have so much more than that. But, and we're still talking about going, and we did an EP, I guess about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. We're thinking about going back in and doing another like 3-song EP, and just, we put it out to radio, and I told Timmy Millspaw, that's worked with us forever, and she's like, what are your expectations for this? And I'm like, I really don't give a shit. I was like, put it on the radio, do your thing, don't overthink it. I just want it to get to the people that want to hear it. And, I don't want to I'm not going to do a radio tour. I'm not going to go to radio stations and push the single or anything. I just want to get it out. And the people that want to hear it can come find it. And the people that, I'd like to, reach some new people, but that's not my focus on those songs. I wanted to give it to our fans that have been, kind of wanting to hear some new music for a long time that we haven't been able to really accommodate. And that's kind of what that was all about. So it was pretty cool, and it was well received. So we're happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I got one more for you, and then we'll let you go back to the bus and
all right.
Rest for the big show tonight.
Well, they said we were going to play at 11:30. I'm like, dang it. I forgot, because we used to do that all the time here. But then I'm like, come on, we'll play for that 8 o'clock crowd.
Yeah. So if you were get in your car or where you're going to drive somewhere.
I drive a truck.
Okay.
When you get in the
Ricky Bobby. When you get in your truck,
does not look like a golfer. Do you understand?
I'm not a golfer and I don't drive a car.
When you get in the truck to go drive to the golf course, you're going to go play. What's the first song that you're going to put on that you want to hear just right now? If you were to go anywhere and you're going to just put on one song you just want to hear.
Actually, right now I've been listening to this band called the Red Clay Strays.
Oh yeah.
You heard them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found them about a month ago, and I'm like, this dude is like got nostalgia just like seeping out of his pores. So I've been listening to them. I try to, the good thing about Spotify is once you have your kind of your liked playlist, it just gives you those automatic playlists.
Yep.
And so I've been listening to a lot of them. So I've come up on a lot of like, different artists that I wouldn't have normally found. But I also go back and listen to like, I'll listen to like 90s and early 2000s, like rock, in Alice in Chains and Nirvana and, bands like that, kind of I grew up in, listen to high school, in high school. And then I'll go to like 90s country or 80s country. And so I like everything. And I think that's where a lot of the diversity with No Justice in the songwriting kind of stems from, is just that we're not really, I don't just get up and listen to 70s country all day long. I'll listen to some Ricky Skaggs and, then go listen to, Alice in Chains, and then go listen to Cole Wetzel, or so it's I say some of the new guys. They're new to me, but they're well established to everybody else. But it's been cool, like experiencing some of the way that Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that will just throw out some new artists that you can discover, and I listen to everybody frowns so much on the Nashville artists and stuff, but I listen to a lot of Nashville artists too. I mean, like my daughter loves Morgan Wallen, and I like a lot of his stuff. That I think he's got a lot of great music, and Hardy and some of those guys. I listen to a lot of that stuff just because I just like music.
Steve's a Swiftie.
No, I'm not. But if she come to our shows and bring about 1,000 fans,
I think she'd bring more than that.
I'm not going to put a ring on it, but I'll be like, all right, thank you. I still don't get that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's a lot of stuff I dislike too. So I mean, there's a boundary that I don't cross.
Now I want to know the boundary.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody.
You don't gotta say somebody. You just gotta say what you don't.
I've got this list I've compiled here.
Oh no.
We'll start at the top. No, but mostly, like I said, I just like music. Something that kind of will, get you moving during the day. Make you actually think about something instead of just background noise.
So would it be a Red Clay Stray song?
Oh, what was one song? You're gonna put me on the spot now. What's his kind of real upbeat song that he plays? Because he plays a lot of say though with Zach Bryan. Zach Bryan, his old record. He had a lot more upbeat songs, and like the newer record. Most of the songs I like are the compilations with like the Lumineers and what was the other band?
They got
War and Treaty.
War and Treaty, yeah. Great song. I actually went and listened to some War and Treaty stuff, after that, and turned me on to another band,
Yeah.
But it's I've got a big list.
I was really hoping he knew Red Clay Strays. I was going to have him look right into the camera and say, "You need to come on this podcast."
Yeah.
Well, hey, you do. Get on up here. I just posted on my Facebook page a show that he did, like a sit down show that they did, and the first two songs right out of the bag were just, they're awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, these guys.
Yeah.
He's got it, and he even does the Elvis, the little gyrating. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You can tell there's some history there with his music.
Yeah.
Do you throw any of that into the performance?
No.
None of the
my
Dwight Yoakam
dancing, my dancing so out of date. People think it's new. So they're like,
That's a good thing.
He's
right?
pulling out some of that new shit. No, I was doing this in junior high.
Yeah. That's great.
All right. Well, Steve, we thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait for the show.
Yeah,
It's
thank
gonna
you
be
for having
awesome.
me. Looking forward to it.
Awesome.